Geez, welcome back to Tyson's Alchemy. Here is 5 things you can do today to level up your life. Let's get into it. So, number 1, focusing on your fitness. The bottom line is that if you focus on your fitness and get your body strong and your mind healthy, everything else aligns up perfectly. If you try to avoid this and you're a skinny dog and you focus on the grind and you're in the room doing all the work, you can get success, obviously, by locking in, but you will pay the tax of not taking care of your body somewhere along the line. Your body's going to pop up and be like, hello, you forgot about us trying to make money, but actually money's not important if you don't have your health, so come back, focus on the health. So step 1, focus on your fitness. If you're just going to the gym at the moment, you're just willy-nilly doing random garbage, it's not enough. It's better than doing nothing, but I would focus in on a goal. What's your goal? Packing on muscle, size, getting shredded. Pick a goal, go at it, and try and become healthier in terms of fitness. If you are developing a bit of fat, or you're not in the shape that you feel like you need to be, then focus on that. Make that a priority. Yes, you've got big financial goals, but without your health, without feeling like you're in tip-top shape, it's going to be for what? What are you going to be? A fat rich guy? You don't want to be a fat rich guy, okay? So get your health in order. Number 2, start talking to yourself in the mirror daily. Now you're probably thinking, well, Tyson, wouldn't that make me a fucking schizo? Want to get locked up? Not if no one knows you're doing it. Maybe I'll know you're doing it, okay? When you get the opportunity, not all day, but mornings, at a midpoint during the day, and at night time, look yourself in the mirror, because if you're going to talk to yourself in the mirror, 2 things are going to be happening. You're going to see your reflection and you're going to feel proud, or you're going to see your reflection and you're going to notice that you're not quite how you want to look, right? Now, a lot of our genetics and our looks, there's nothing we can do about it, right? I've been blessed enough to be like maybe a 6, a 7, an 8 out of 10 on a good day, right? You might be better, you might be blessed, you might not be blessed in that sense, but you can work on your body, you can work on your grooming and stuff like that. That's not the point of this tip. The point is you need to talk to yourself. You either feel pride or not. Then it's what you put in. Your subconscious responds to who you are in the moment and how you speak about it. So you don't say, I'm going to have no fear, I'm not going to be poor, because your subconscious just takes that in as, oh, so we're poor and we have fear. You need to look yourself in the mirror and say, I am confident, I have belief, I am rich. Now, you might not be rich right now, but it's all about programming your subconscious. You need to affirm what you're wanting in the day. Maybe you've just got a goal this week. Maybe you want to make, I don't know, an epic edit for a client, right? And you say, I make epic edits. My edits are amazing. Because if you're coming up to a roadblock or you're a bit stuck with ideas, it's important that your subconscious is on your team, not working against you going, oh, we're out of ideas, we're useless. So start affirming into the mirror who you are going to be as if you are them right now. Number 3, how to level up your life right now is to engage with people that inspire you. Now, you can go comment on their accounts. Obviously, you can't get in touch with all your idols, right? They're all busy, but just start engaging with their content a bit more. Right? I noticed this sometimes when I was going through little spells of dealing with stuff. If I just went and watched a little bit more Conor McGregor, if I just went and watched a little bit more Greg Plitt, I just kind of forced myself to, instead of kind of scrolling and seeing where it took me or watching random stuff on YouTube, I actually went back to some old stuff. I actually went to their channels again. David Goggins is another good one, right? You think you've heard it all, you know, that these guys have to say, but actually, even if you're going back to watch the same shit, you know, like Rocky 3 and Rocky 4, I've seen them a million times, it still triggers the same anchor inside you that they inspire you to be a certain way. So start using that more. Yeah, you can level up your life when you put your focus onto things that match with who you want to be rather than just distracting yourself. Number 4 is get more sleep. Oh no, Tyson, what? Sleep when you're dead. Sleep when you're dead. Shut up, Dumbo, okay? If you want to work with efficiency, you need proper sleep. Now, proper sleep might be different for you than it is for him or her, but you need sleep. The body, for a third of your life, is spent sleeping. You need to rest, recover. You can't do step 1 and build a healthy body if you're not doing this step, okay? Now, there are periods of my life where I did have to neglect a bit of sleep, okay? I've got children, I've got businesses I have to run. Sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. But it is now more clear to me than ever that I am way more productive, way more energetic on a good amount of sleep. Not a perfect amount. You're never going to get a perfect amount, but a good amount. An amount of sleep that helps you recover. If you're going to the gym and you're doing hard workouts, you've got a busy life, there's cortisol, there's stress going around the body, you need to give yourself the chance to wake up fresh. Working on 20% every day, it's just going to be a battle you're never going to win. You're going to keep climbing the mountain and falling down, keep climbing the mountain, falling down. And yes, you can do that your whole life. Well, Tyson, I have sleep problems. Try and fix it. Look into it. Well, when I go to bed at night, I just can't switch off. Well, you're not doing enough physically to switch off. If you're sat in your room all day going like this, and your body's not going to want to go to sleep, it's going to be like, hey, can we go on a fucking walk or something? We're not going to sleep, mate. You haven't fucking moved, all right? So find the reasons as to maybe why you can't sleep. Sleep is super important, and people say, sleep when you're dead, blah, blah, blah. It's a third of your life, bro. A third of your life is spent sleeping. So try and make it an efficient quality sleep. Fix your pillow, fix your mattress, sort out your bedroom setting, get the temperature down. Try and have a bed to yourself if you can. It's good to have the women in the bed for a certain amount of time, but if you can have your own bed to get proper rest, then do that as well. But that's later down the line, maybe. And finally, number 5, you need to choose anchors that awaken you when you need them. So if I said to you, tell me a song about your childhood, tell me a song that reminds you of your childhood, most people can come up with one. It might take them a minute. Let me think. Maybe it's a theme tune to something they used to watch. And I said, right, what does that song make you think of? And you come up with, hopefully, a happy memory about your childhood, watching a theme song on a TV show, or maybe it was a school disco, or whatever it was you went to, right, when you were younger. There's an anchor there. Now, I've got to pull that out of you by asking those questions. But the more anchors you can make that relate to positive emotional experiences, the more you can bring them into your reality. So my example is, even in this slightly retarded example, right, when I was doing my gambling business, which I've spoken about in a previous video, and I was doing that, I lost a lot of money, right? But there was a period of time before it all went wrong where I was winning, just endlessly winning, right? And there was a song by French Montana that was out at the time. I can't remember the title now, but when it plays, it always takes me back to that feeling of when I was winning, when I felt like the whole Wolf of Wall Street, when I was buying this, that, just living my best life. Anything the girl wanted, I bought it. Anything I wanted, I bought it, right? And I was living this life, and whenever I hear that song, despite the ending of that story, part of my life, was pretty bad, right? Bankrupt and terrible. That part, when I hear that song, it gives me the feeling, because I remember being in the car at the time when I was winning, the song came on, and I just felt like I was a fucking G. I had the song full blast, and it was awesome, right? Even though there was a bad ending, that is now an anchor for me. I don't listen to that song all the time, but when I do, when it comes on, that feeling, that emotional feeling of being rich and being successful and winning floods my brain and my body, and I can actually visualize in my head what it was like. I can be in the car again, the old car I was in. I can see the sun shining in, it was beaming, I had the window down, I was banging my tunes out, it was awesome, right? So I use that anchor. You will have anchors or memories, emotional memories in your life where something has went right. Maybe you've never achieved financial success yet, but you'll have done something that made you feel either excited, proud, happy. You'll have those memories in you somewhere, hopefully, right? And it's about finding a way to anchor them with a phrase, a word, an action, beating your chest, or a song. Songs are easy because you can just play them. You don't need to start beating your chest, right? Find anchors that make you feel awesome. And if you don't have any, think of a film that makes you feel awesome, right? A film can be an anchor. The Rocky 3, Rocky 4 films are anchors for me. I can use them. Don't use them very often anymore. I used to use them a lot longer when I was younger. But now, say like the Wolf of Wall Street film, I used to watch it all the time. I don't watch it anymore, really. But it's an anchor. Why is it an anchor? Because I remember what it felt like when I first watched it and how it changed the trajectory of my life. For me personally, that's what happened. So that's an anchor. There's lots of different films. The series Ballers, right, on HBO with Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, that's got another anchor to it, because I remember watching Ballers around that time when I was winning all that money, right? So I was watching Ballers, Dwayne Johnson, suited and booted, being a G, and the theme tune for that was a Drake song. So whenever I hear that, it reminds me of that time. It's an anchor. I've got loads and loads of anchors, so I can just be going through the day with my planned scheme of being a winner, doing what I need to do that day, and a random song will come on. Oh, but Tyson's made that an anchor, so that triggers his good energy. Everything is anchoring around me. Everything's just triggering happy dopamine responses without me even trying, because I've created so many anchors. So there's 5 things for you to implement. Implement them right now, and you can start to level up your life today. So geez, remember, self-hypnosis is the key.